Hey, what is up guys? Massive here, back to do another video, and today I'm going to showcase a strategy inspired from the legend Unleashed. That's right, Unleashed. He is a legend in my eyes and always will be. We're going to be on Tournament Oasis Odyssey, playing as the GDI faction, and I'm going to go for a Bloodhounds oriented strategy. But there is a bit of a twist to it, and you'll see in this game. So I'm going to open up with 4 engineers. I'm going to V35 Ox 2 of them, and I'm also going to make 2 missile squads to put inside of the APCs that I'll get from summoning them in via the Bloodhound support power. Riflemen's to scout ahead so I don't get intercepted by militant squads or riflemen's or even buzzers. We'll see what kind of units he decides to build here. It is a random mirror. And I've got these engineers waiting back for those V35s. I don't have to move those forward across the map because they will be placed inside of the transports, which move super fast. That is a lot of militants, however. So I'm going to have to, unfortunately, do a suboptimal version of this strategy. I'm going to have to summon in the Bloodhounds close to my base. So what you're seeing here is actually worst case scenario. This is the worst case scenario because I have to summon in my Bloodhounds near my base. Typically you'd be able to do it in the middle of the map, which makes this push come a lot sooner. And this is a very potent push against harvesters. You've got a lot of DPS there with the missiles inside of the APCs, plus they have that veterancy, so they're going to be able to withstand more punishment. Power plant gets sold there. He's trying to intercept these V35s. At most he can get 1 with a Raider Buggy. I'm okay taking 1 spike. Even if I get 1 spike here, it's okay. 3 to 1 spike is a decent lead for me, but I get all 4, which is nice. And now I've got this force of units pushing towards him. He's going to have to postpone harvester production and make units against this. He's going to have to build a Hand of Nod to place a laser turret down. I went immediately for the Hand of Nod. It's a very lightly armored structure, and I know he's queuing a laser turret. Laser turrets are very hard to dislodge, so getting rid of this is a great move. I denied that laser turret, and now I'm going to start focusing on this harvester here. Pipples and APCs targeting it down. And I've got these riflemen forward as well. Those are going to be helpful to dig foxholes near his Tiberium spikes. Oh, I say his, they're actually mine. It will make it even harder for him to take back. This is just me forcing him to build more units, and I was thinking about maybe it was a bad idea selling my airfield off because he's only got tanks. If I had my airfield still around and I didn't sell it off, I could have gone for V35 Oxes on these 2 missile APCs, and then he wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. He would have had to make a ton of buggies, therefore getting further and further behind in terms of harvester count. But he's going to be ahead at the moment still. He's going to have 4 harvesters and 2 refineries. Only now I'm going to get my 2nd refinery down, but I do have those 4 Tiberium spikes, so I'm bringing in a total of $2,400 per minute, which is a substantial amount. And this game, there was no time to talk about anything aside from the game itself. Repairs on these Pipples and APCs is paramount for me. I need to keep them alive. He hasn't yet counterattacked me. He's trying to escort his engineers to those TIS spikes. He wants to get those back. I understand it completely. And I have to consider my next move. I saw his MCV did not expand, so I'm assuming now he's going for a double war factory. So what I'm going to do is take a page out of Steel Talon's book and go for APC missile V35s. Just because I thought of it earlier on, it came to my mind that it could be good even as GDI. You're not going to have those repairing transports, so this is going to be the quote-unquote balanced version. And in the recent R22 patch, the locomotors were reverted to vanilla on the V35, so they move just like they do in Tiberium Wars and Kane's Wrath without any mods applied. So if this works, it works in Tiberium Wars. It probably works even better in Tiberium Wars because the bikes move slower and they still have that limited range. So if this works for me, it could be an undiscovered meta in Tib Wars. But I was able to get a good first salvo of rockets on those bikes, and I also made 2 additional engineers to take the defensive towers. If I can grab both of those defensive towers, I'm able to get a unit or 2. Even killing a single bike will pay the engineer off. And it's going to force him to go around. It's very difficult to avoid both turrets. But I have secured them, and I have the V-35s flying overhead. Now, unfortunately, that did delay my expansion, but I did get a refinery down, and you never know. This game may go on for quite a while yet, so I'm going to move my aim speed a little bit so I can space that refinery sufficiently so it doesn't get clicked by the catalyst missile. 2 refineries going down to a catalyst is game-ending for you as a GDI player. You have to be very cautious. You have to play around that. Summoning in the Orca Strike so I can see ahead. I don't have to take risks with these V-35s. I have to kite continuously with them. Scorpion tanks in my base. He's trying to harass my harvesters. May get one of them, but at the cost of his Scorpion tanks. Bikes are responding. That's a ton of bike buggy, but it's an unwise decision to chase. He shouldn't do that, and does take a lot of damage in the retreat. Those Scorps were as good as dead anyways because those V-35s are out. They're like hammerheads, only they don't have that chain gun on them. To be honest, the AP ammo chain gun on the hammerhead deals less damage than the rockets that you can put with inside them. But I like the V-35 Oxes more because they are faster than the hammerheads and they have better kiting potential. That defensive tower taking out unit after unit. He is just running into it, and I'm getting experience on these V-35s. You can see they don't repair, they're just regular GDI V-35 Oxes, and despite the numerous nerfs I've done to it, despite it now being what it is like in Tip Wars and Kane Draft, it's still a viable strategy. This is still a potential strategy to do against Bike Buggy and Scorpion tanks, and it's working out extremely well. And the follow-up for GDI is just superior because you've got infantry upgrades, you've got Shatterer tanks, you've got Predators, which I deem to be better than Steel Talons Titans, just because they can be supported by more units. I'm researching that composite armor upgrade, which is going to make those infantry tank a ton more damage. And Shatterers are going to be great against everything that he builds. One thing I didn't do so far was transfer my harvesters to that expansion field. And I may feel like now's the time to drop these APCs and have them on the ground again. I can always do that if I choose. It may be a good idea because he could have infantry. It's very possible. There's the first hand of Nog. We see no more vehicles coming out from him, so we can assume something's up. He's either going for attack or infantry, and in this case it's going to be infantry. A lot of heading towards my harvesters, but you know what, guys? I've got 7 harvesters, and those can crush. This is one thing you gotta love about Command and Conquer games, is that units can crush. And who needs anti-infantry, right? When you have a ton of harvesters, those harvesters coming in clutch, destroying those infantry, absolutely annihilating them. And the forces of GDI are just pouring through. Something that you couldn't do as well with Steel Talons was just make an army of infant tanks and be as effective as that. So yeah, GDI very good with that V-35 tactic, and it was great that I did it with the Bloodhounds opening move, as mentioned in the beginning of the video. That was inspired by Unleashed, and yeah, Unleashed is just legend. Hope he's doing all right. Despite his living circumstances. Haven't heard from him, but again, I wish him all the best. And yeah, this is going to be it from me, guys. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, then don't forget to smash the like button. I really appreciate that. And before I go, I'd like to thank my patrons for supporting me and my YouTube channel and these patches, keeping this game alive. Anyways, this is it from me, Master Leaf, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.